Yo, it's your boy Frank Lee, aka Frank the host here. I'm sitting here with two men that I really admire. We're going to be talking about a few things today. We got Pastor Jay in the house.
Hey, what's going on?
And we have the guy formerly known as Rove, now Brian Lamar. How you feeling?
Yes, sir. I'm doing good.
So,
Feeling relaxed.
Good. So, we're gonna talk about a couple of things. I want to first kick off this conversation off with the whole Brove switching from Brove to Brian. Let's talk about that first before we get into talking about everything else.
Right. So recently, I'm just going through the transition. Brove was my name initially because I'm born in Brooklyn and I moved to Virginia, and it was always like feeling torn. Like, how can I fully represent Brooklyn? I don't live in Brooklyn, and how can I also embrace Virginia? And so I ran with that name for a long time with a lot of confusion because of the way it was spelled. But I ran with that name for a long time, and up until recent, I just took a break. I took a break from the music. I put out a project called All I Did Is Die in the Grave, and I right after that project, I just took an extended break, and I had to gather, I had to regroup, I had to reset. And coming out of that, I was like, man, I just want to be authentically myself. I don't want to be a caricature. You know what I mean? I don't want to be, because I am who I am. I am Brian, right? So I just wanted to change my name to be more authentic and true to myself, and so I just went with that name. And you know, I don't feel, I feel like I don't feel gimmicky. Not that I did before, but like it just feels more natural, like for people to address me as my first name. And you got people in church like bro, Vay, like my name is Brian. So I just made that change, and just to be more authentic and true to where I am now as well. So yeah, it's just maturity.
I think that's really admirable. You said that maturity piece
Right,
because you're now readily identified with your music.
right, right,
That's
right,
Brian.
right.
Some artists hide behind that persona.
Exactly.
You
Yes,
know,
sir.
and use it almost like a permission. To be
Right.
irreverent.
Be somebody else,
To be
or
somebody else.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But that's you saying when you get my music, you get me.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Absolutely,
I like that.
absolutely.
So now it's Brian Lamar. Um, first of all, I will say this. I want to say this on air. The last album was dope.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
legit.
Appreciate that.
Still rock with it. Still, I mean, for real, still rock with it. I would say out of 2019, probably one of the better albums that I've heard. That's right up there with
That's
Jesus is
big.
King and
That's
everything
big,
else.
man. That's big.
Legit.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
high.
I
I
told you
appreciate it.
when I first I said you got a fan. I'm an instant fan, man. I'm an
Yeah.
instant
I
fan.
appreciate that a lot. Um, that project took a lot out of me. Like it took, like I said, it took 2 years to make that project. And during that whole project, I was going through a growth period, right? And so, as you continue to grow, your way of thinking changes from song to song.
Hmm.
Like, all right, man, I don't feel the same way I felt about this. So let's cut that song out, or let's add this. Like, this is how I feel like, just kind of taking you on a journey. But the whole premise of the project was just to get out all those ideas, because your mind may change from day to day. Some good, some bad. But one thing that I wanted to do was just be able to have a body of work that was out there. And I didn't have, for all the years that I've been doing music, I didn't have that much to speak for, that much music to speak for. So that project was like a relief. Like, man, I finally got this music out, these ideas, these thoughts that I was feeling at the time. And whether I'm there, because music is really just a time period, a timepiece where you were at the moment.
Wow.
And so this is where I was. And if I don't get this out, it's just gonna die anyway,
Yeah.
right? It's just gonna die anyway. So maybe I can give this to the world, and maybe it helps somebody, maybe it may encourage somebody. But this is something that I need to do, you know what I mean, to get this thing off my chest. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So,
Most def. So one thing I do like, I've learned I learned to I've I've learned this about you. your beat selection is crazy. Like really, you really do pick some of the dopest beats, and you live up to them. Cause sometimes you got you it's out. You know
Right.
the beat out beats the rapper. You know
For
what I'm
sure.
saying?
For sure. For sure.
And I'm like, yo, like you have not you have not failed me yet. Like on any of your beat selections or any of that stuff.
Man, what did it? I listen to so much beats, and like it's like exercise. And so like I'll challenge myself on other people's beats just to just to challenge myself to see like because I believe I'm a good writer. So I'm like, man, let me see if I can outright this artist that people think is so good.
That's interesting.
Let me see if I can pin something real good. So like that's kind of where it started.
Now you gotta tell us. You gotta tell us at least one. At least one of you
Yes.
Like, all right, for instance, I took the Classic Man beat, and I was like, man, this is really good. I heard the remix, I was like, man, this is dope. But when I go into a beat, I don't think about what the artist did, right? I just let the beat play, and I'm like, man, I just kind of like leave the door open and let God like speak, like just let me see what I want to say, because I've been rapping for so long that I have so many different flows and cadences that just flow through me. And so I can listen to a beat and I can go like, man, I can go this way, I can go that way. All right, let me try this. Just pretty much practicing and experiment on these beats. And so, man, they'll tell you, look, I will go through tons of beats just listening to beats. I will listen to beats for like an hour till I find like one that I'm gonna actually rap on. But I'll just exercise on the rest. So I'll be in the car just listening, and I'll just land on a beat. Um, so my beat selection is really me being very particular because I don't like to just create any kind of any kind of just song. I want it to like hit. I want it to hit and stand out. So I pick something that I know people are so attracted to beats. So the bass line matters the most to me in the song. Like that bass line, if the bass line carries, it just boosts me. So I'm like, all right, this is something that I can rap on. So yeah, I mean, when you got that much music, you listen to so much music, it's almost like having a catalog, of music in your head and a reference that you can go to. So like, all right, man. Like I grew up listening to these sounds. Like growing up, I listened to a lot of sound. A lot of my grandfather used to play old school music, and so there's so many sampling and references in the beats now. So I'm like, man, all these sounds, they never, they don't go anywhere. And so like, before I knew I could create, I was already listen to these beats. And so now that I listen to them in beat form, it's like candy, man. Like I just go after them, man.
Wow. So it sounds like, if I'm hearing you correctly, like you really you prefer quality over quantity.
For sure.
You're just not just trying to just put stuff out,
For
out.
sure, yeah.
You want to leave an impact.
Yes,
I like
yes.
that. I like that.
Which is different from the industry that's going on like, right now.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's quantity over quality.
Right. That's the trick now. Like it's very tricky, right? Because you if you always wait just to put out quality, sometimes people's attention span is so, it goes by so fast. They're on this one day and they're on to the next day. So while you're sitting there trying to put together quality over quantity, sometimes it's like the world is passing you by. So sometimes you gotta like, all right, let me accelerate the process a little bit. Let me stop being so, tight with it, tight guarded with my with sound, and let me do this at a faster rate a little bit because you don't want to get left behind as far as putting out music. So.
But I mean, I hear exactly what you're saying, and it is true to where we are. But then you think about your heavy hitters like your princes, and you think about these guys who whatever they do, it's gonna crush.
Right.
It's like they're immune to that whole process
Yes.
of
Yes.
Create. We're waiting. You actually
Right.
we're actually like waiting on
Right.
you to drop something like
Right.
that, man. And I think I think it was Denzel Washington that said, when he talks about, somebody asked him about why it takes so long for him to do like movies. He does
Right.
like maybe one a year, maybe, and then some years he won't do any. He said if I'm always out front, then you never miss me.
That's true. That's good.
Good.
That's
You
very
know,
true. That's very true.
yeah, and I think that's it's something to be said for that.
Right. Right. It
Really,
is.
you know.
And that's like the battle sometimes with an artist. Like, do I do this because am I doing this because I just want to get something out to the world and fast track the process, or should I really take my time and make a good piece of work and cultivate? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so that's where I've been trying to find the balance. Find that balance between, all right, I'm I'm very particular when it comes to music, and I'm my hardest critic, right? And so I'll take that time. But now at this point, I'm like, all right, I feel like I've done this so much that I can fast track, a good record because of just repetition.
Yeah, yeah.
Repetition, like, they say you put in so many hours of doing something, you kind of master it, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I've been doing music for so long, I'm like, okay, there's no reason for me not to be able to have that quantity. And it's funny you mentioned Prince. His catalog is extensive. And like we're just now starting to hear some of those records that he
Yes.
did that he did way back that no one's ever heard
Yeah.
because he's done so many songs and he was very particular about his music, and so they're trying to stay true to his legacy and stay true to what he would want, and they're putting out them songs. I'm like, wow, and the world is like, wow, where were these songs back then? But and that's just a testament to the type of artist he was as far
Hmm.
as like being very particular with his sound and what he gives to the world. So
That's good. Which leads us to the conversation of your new single that's about to
yeah,
drop.
right.
Tell us about that, and with saying that, and now coming to this right now, it kind of like it just segues right,
That's a good
segue
segue,
right into it. It's perfect. It's perfect.
right? Right. So this new record is called "Do the Most," and before we said it before, like before doing the most was like you doing too much, man. Like chill out. Now like for me in the season that I'm in, um, it's what we were just talking about. It's that battle. Like I felt like I have not done enough as far as with the gifting that I have. I should be doing more, right? Frank always tell me like, man, people need to see you more. You gotta do more shows. You gotta do, So I was like, man, in this season, if I'm gonna consider myself an artist, there's no reason why I can't put a record out once a month. It's no reason why I can't write one song a week, right? It's no reason why I can't do that, right? There's no excuse. And so I'm like, man, you know what? If things are gonna happen, um, it's not going to be because there was the lack of opportunity. It's not going to happen. It's not going to be because someone was blocking me. It's going to be because I didn't do enough, right?
Hmm.
I didn't work hard enough, and I had to look myself in the mirror and say, "Man, you're not working hard enough. You're not doing enough work." So I was like, you know what? I had to muster up, and say like, "Look, I'm going to do more." And so this record was just merely talking about me, like, man, and just in telling other people, like, man, if you want to you want to become what you're trying to become, you're dreaming, but you have to do work, right? You can't just rest on wishing and hoping and expecting someone to just pick you up out of here. You got to do the work. So that was the premise of the song, just do the most.
Yeah, I think that 2019 was an amazing year for a lot of things. One thing I coming into this year, my whole motto was, and you probably seen on my social media, create.
Right.
Yo, you can sit here and wait for things to be created, or you can go out there and
You
create
created.
what you want
Hmm.
to happen. And so you have to create in order for whatever you see to be done.
Right.
Like you can't wait for you're not gonna you're not gonna make a hit record just by not doing anything.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna make a podcast by sitting at home and thinking about it or have it written down. You gotta go past the point of just writing it down to actually creating and making it happen
Right.
and put it out there.
Right. That,
And
that's true, man. That's so true. That used to be me in a nutshell. Like I used to write things down, and I can. I'm like a visionary, man. Like I like to just, you know, the way things come to me, I can see it all the way through, but I always struggle with the execution part, right?
mm,
Always relying on someone else, like, all right, man, I need this help. I need your help to do this, and it got to a point where like, man, look, I'm holding myself back. I'm holding myself back by not taking action. And you watch all these motivational speeches and all these motivational things on the internet, and you're looking at it like, yeah, this is true, but you don't do it. like I'm like, man, I should be doing more. So that's very true, man. Like you have to, all right, write it down, write the vision out, but actually write out a plan of action,
Mm-hmm.
right? Write
Mm-hmm.
a plan of action on how you're going to execute these things, and not to say that everything's going to go smoothly, but you at least have to take the step. You know what I mean?
One of my favorite scriptures is, and I forget which version. It stuck with me, but it says, um, "Man devises the plan, but God orders his steps."
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
And the interpretation of that is God gives us the ability to create,
right.
but then we have to rely on Him to order our steps. How to how do we take what He's given us liberty to create and still honor Him in the
Right.
process?
Right.
And that's where He orders the steps. But then the next part is we have to be obedient
Right.
and
Right.
do the things that fit our hand to do. You
Yes,
know what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
And during that time that I took the break, um, that was the scripture that I held on to,
Wow.
because a lot of times you hear like, well, you wanna make God laugh, tell him your plans. That's not necessarily true, right?
No. Uh-uh.
Right? That's not necessarily true. You have to have a plan,
Yeah.
right? You have to have a plan, and a lot of times people are waiting for God to give them the plan. No, God waiting for you to give him the
Hmm.
work, give him something to work with.
Oh,
And
that's
so
good. That's good, man.
I held on to that, and I was like, all right, so God's giving you this, you have this area of gifting, right? But he's giving you the leeway to decide what you want to do. What do you want to do? How you gonna get this done? I'm gonna assist you, right?
Hmm.
It's within these bounds, but how you have to have a plan. And so I held on to that, and it's been, and with that liberty, there's still a fine line to walk, right? You don't want to get out of control, right?
Hmm.
And so I've taken that and I ran with that. I ran with that scripture. I was like, wow. I said, man, sometimes you hear something so many times and you believe it to be true. And that whole thing about, yeah, you want to make God laugh, but I'm like, that just doesn't sit right with me. It's just, and I'm the type of person that I'm going to research,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to find out for myself. I hear you and I'll listen and I'll take it and I'll digest it, but sometimes I'm like, don't sit well with me.
Yeah.
And so I actually, during that time, I sat with that scripture amongst other ones, and I'm like, man, some things that we've been taught are just opposite of what scripture's been saying and what
True.
God and who God is.
Come
I'm
on,
like,
man.
man, listen. And and so I've been telling Frank, like, man, this is why I want to surround myself with those people that, first of all, can think for themselves,
Hmm.
right? Because a lot of times people are in group thought, and they just regurgitate something that's been said or something that they heard,
Mm.
rather than something that they know to be true for themselves. And
Yes, sir.
so I had to get that time away from everyone else to really get in my word and really find out what is really being said and what this thing is about. And man, it's helped me tremendously.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's. I heard one of my mentors. He said you have to study the word and the scriptures for yourself. He said, or else you'll believe. He used this word. You believe some gutless wonders
Right.
interpretation,
Right.
some
Right.
their fearful interpretation of something that God didn't really say.
Right.
They're
Right.
they're basing their interpretation off of their lack of
Right.
faith.
Yeah.
You know,
And
in
people projecting their fears on you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly right.
Mhm.
Exactly right.
That's good. That's good. Well, I'm excited for the whole project, and well, this is just one single now,
One single. One single.
and so I want to say talk about the rest, but right now we talking about this one right here.
Yeah.
So this project's coming out very soon. When is it coming out?
you know, I had a date and it was January, and I kind of have gone off of just like, all right, I'm gonna put this project together. It's gonna come out in January. But like I just been like, you know what? I'm just taking it step by step. I'm gonna take this thing step by step because when I gave myself that initial timeline of January, I didn't really have the full context of what I was trying to do. You know what I mean? So I want to take time to really like, piece it together the right way. Now I've gotten some records that are like leading me in the direction of this project, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna wait to the totality of till everything is completed, till everything is there, till I feel like it sounds right, it's cohesive, and it has all the elements of it that I think I want to give out. So right now I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna just give these singles out. I'm gonna give it little by little until I feel like I'm at a place where comfortable, like where I'm comfortable with the rest of the project. So
It's good. Okay, that's what's up, man. I'm excited for this.
man,
It's gonna be good.
it's definitely a process and a journey.
Yeah, this is the Brian Lamar.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm excited for you, man. It's gonna be good. I can't wait. I've heard the song already. I ain't gonna lie, it is a dope song. So when you watch this, you guys will know it's really good.
Yes, sir. Hopefully it's out by then. It should be out by then. We're looking for November to be the date. The date, sometime November for it to come out, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited for people to get some new music, some new content, and just hoping that they take the music and run with it, run with the concept. Because one thing I've learned about creating music is, like I said, I want to master the art of parabling because sometimes you got to give the medicine with the sugar. And a lot of times people just coming for the sugar, but the people that are really looking for something, hungry for something, they're gonna get it. And this song should do both. You know what
Wow.
I like that. The medicine with the sugar. With that being said, I think we gotta end this on that.
Yes, sir.
On that note. Man, I appreciate this, man. This is gonna be good. We look forward to actually doing more of these, right? This is the first of many, and it's gonna be dope. So
I mean? Yes, sir.
with that being said, again, make sure you guys pick up everything that he's got. Already, everything's everywhere right now.
Everything is everywhere.
Yeah, so all ideas die in the grave. Doing the most. You want to go check all that out. So make sure you guys go out there, pick that all up. And again, I'm super excited for both of you guys being on here. Let's do this some more.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be good. Thank y'all for joining us into this conversation. Let's get it. Thank you guys. No one told you. We want to tell you we love you.
Look, please believe I see and know the hate. The urgency from being told to wait. Emergency, the currency's at stake. A murder scene, police on roll to tape. A time to kill, I'm Samuel L. at will. I'm fresh to death.